Welcome back. This is Crime Uncoded, and this is The Dark Files, Compilation Series, where not every case becomes a full-length episode, but some stories are too haunting to be left untold. This series gathers those mysteries into long compilations. Let's begin. It's December 30th, 2000. In a quiet Tokyo suburb, a family of 4 is found stabbed in their home. But the killer doesn't flee. He stays, eating their food, using their computer, even treating his wounds. Then he vanishes, leaving DNA and clues, but no answers. This is the Setagaya Family Murders, a case so bizarre it feels like a nightmare. Why did he linger? And who was he? Let's walk through it. New Year's Eve, 2000. A neighbor checks on the Miyazawa family in Setagaya, Tokyo. Inside, they find horror. Mikio, Yasuko, Nina, and Rei Miyazawa, all stabbed or strangled. The house is a mess. Blood, scattered papers, but also strange signs. Ice cream wrappers, a used bandage, and the killer's feces in the toilet. He was here for hours. What kind of person does this? Here's the thing. The killer didn't just kill and leave. He ate 4 ice creams, drank tea, used the family's computer, and slept on their couch. He left a bloody sweater, a fanny pack, and a knife. His DNA was everywhere, yet he's never been identified. Was he taunting the police, or was he just that reckless? It's like he wanted to live in their world for a night. The Miyazawas were ordinary. Mikio, 44, worked in advertising. Yasuko, 41, was a teacher. Nina, 8, and Rei, 6, were typical kids. They lived in a modest home near a park, planning to move soon due to redevelopment. Nothing screamed target. So why them? Was it personal, random, or something else? Their normalcy makes this even more unsettling. Police found a treasure trove of evidence. The knife was from a local store. The fanny pack had sand from a specific desert. The killer's blood showed he was injured, likely during the struggle. His clothes were cheap, mass-produced. His DNA suggested mixed heritage, possibly Korean and European. Yet, with all this, no match. How does someone leave so much and still vanish? What drives someone to kill a family, then act like they belong? Psychologists say he might have been a drifter, craving control or a sense of home. His lingering suggests confidence or detachment, maybe both. A Reddit post on r/truecrime calls him a ghostly opportunist, striking without motive. The idea of him eating their ice cream while they lay dead is chilling. Tokyo police launched a massive effort. 250,000 officers over years, 12,000 tips. They traced the knife, the sand, the clothes. They tested DNA against thousands, but every lead hit a dead end. The killer's profile, male, young, athletic, fit too many people. Was he a local who blended in, or a transient who left Japan? The trail went cold fast. Setagaya was shaken. A quiet suburb turned into a place of paranoia. Neighbors locked doors. Parents watched their kids closer. The park near the Miyazawa home, once lively, felt eerie. The killer's boldness, staying in the house, made people wonder if he was still nearby. That fear lingers even now. The DNA is the best clue, but it's also a curse. It's on file, but no database match. Japan's DNA records were limited in 2000, and international checks turned up nothing. The mixed heritage adds complexity. Could he be a foreigner, a military kid, or a traveler? Without a match, it's just a code, mocking the police. Reddit and forums buzz with ideas. Some say he was a rejected tenant angry about the redevelopment. Others think he was a military brat from a nearby US base, explaining the sand and DNA. A darker theory: he was a serial killer testing his limits. No theory fits perfectly, but each one makes you wonder what drove him. The Miyazawa's relatives keep their memory alive, pushing for answers. A memorial sits at their home, now a quiet reminder. Police still get tips, but hope fades. The family deserved better. A life, not a mystery. Thinking about Nina and Ray, so young, breaks my heart. Who could do this to them? In 2020, police retested the DNA with new tech, but still no match. They've shared sketches of the killer's clothes online, hoping for leads. Reddit sleuths analyzed the sand's origin, linking it to Nevada. But the killer's silence is deafening. How does someone slip through every net? Why the Miyazawas? Why stay in their home? Was it rage, ritual, or something we can't grasp? The killer left his DNA, his clothes, his presence, but took his reasons with him. This case feels like a wound that won't heal, a story with no ending. Somewhere, he's out there, or his secrets buried forever. The Setagaya murders are a puzzle that doesn't fit together. A family gone, a killer who lingered, and clues that lead nowhere. Maybe one day that DNA will speak, or someone will remember something. Until then, this case haunts me. Share your thoughts in the comments. It's November 1st, 2007, in the ancient city of Perugia, Italy. The cobblestone streets are quiet, the autumn air crisp. A young British student, Meredith Kercher, is settling into her study abroad adventure. She's 21, full of life, sharing a house with other students. But in a matter of hours, her world will end. A brutal crime will spark a global firestorm, with accusations, trials, and questions that linger to this day. Who killed Meredith? Was it a stranger, a friend, or someone closer? I'm piecing this story together step by step, because the truth feels like it's still slipping away. Meredith Kercher arrives in Perugia in late summer 2007. She's studying abroad, chasing her love of languages and European culture. Perugia's a small, historic city, home to the University for Foreigners, where students like Meredith come to soak in Italian life. She moves into a cottage at Via della Pergola 7, sharing it with 3 others. 2 Italian women and Amanda Knox, a 20-year-old American from Seattle. Meredith is warm, smart, a bit shy. She's making friends, going to classes, and dancing at local clubs. Life feels full of promise. But here's the thing. That cottage, tucked on a quiet street, is about to become a crime scene. How quickly can a dream turn into a nightmare? November 1st is All Saints' Day, a holiday in Italy. Meredith spends the evening with friends, watching a movie at their apartment. She's back home by 9 p.m., alone in the cottage. Amanda, her roommate, is out, reportedly with her new boyfriend, Raffaele Sollecito, an Italian student. Around 10 p.m., neighbors hear a scream, but it's brief, and no one thinks much of it. The next morning, November 2nd, Amanda returns and says she finds the front door ajar, blood in the bathroom, and Meredith's bedroom door locked. She calls her mother in Seattle, then the police. Something's wrong. Very wrong. Police arrive at Via della Pergola around noon on November 2nd. They break open Meredith's locked bedroom door. Inside, they find her body under a duvet. She's been stabbed multiple times, her throat cut. The scene is devastating, but not chaotic. No signs of a break-in, just a broken window in another room. The police seal off the house. Meredith's friends and roommates are questioned. Amanda and Raffaele seem shaken, but their behavior, hugging, kissing outside the crime scene, strikes some as odd. The investigation begins, and Perugia's quiet streets are about to be flooded with attention. One moment, one room, and a life is gone. The Perugia police move fast. They focus on the broken window, suspecting a burglary gone wrong. But the glass is inside the room, suggesting it was broken from within. Attention turns to Amanda and Raffaele. Amanda's story shifts. She says she was at Raffaele's apartment all night. Then, later, claims she was home and heard nothing. Raffaele says his computer shows he was online, but police find no activity. 4 days after the murder, police search Raffaele's apartment and find a knife with Amanda's DNA on the handle, and, they claim, Meredith's DNA on the blade. The case is spiraling. Why do the simplest details feel so hard to pin down? Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito are arrested on November 6, 2007, along with Patrick Lumumba, a bar owner Amanda worked for, whom she implicates during a long interrogation. She says she heard Meredith scream while Patrick attacked her, but later retracts this, saying she was confused. Patrick has an alibi. Witnesses place him at his bar. The police release him, but keep Amanda and Raffaele in custody. Their behavior, Amanda's yoga in the police station, Raffaele's calm demeanor, raises eyebrows. On r/True Crime, users later debate, were they guilty or just young and overwhelmed? The spotlight burns, and it reveals as much as it blinds. While Amanda and Raffaele are questioned, police track another lead. Fingerprints at the scene don't match them. They belong to Rudy Goudet, a 20-year-old drifter known to locals for petty theft. Goudet had been seen at the cottage before, and his DNA is found in Meredith's room, on her body, her purse, even a bloody handprint. Goudet flees to Germany, but is arrested on November 20th. He admits being at the house, saying he was with Meredith consensually, but claims an unknown man killed her while he was in the bathroom. His story doesn't add up. Here's the problem. How does he fit with Amanda and Raffaele? By December 2007, prosecutors build a case. Amanda, Raffaele, and Goudet acted together. They claim it was a sex game gone wrong, with Amanda and Raffaele luring Meredith into a violent encounter. The motive is shaky. No clear reason ties the three together. Guedet's DNA is the strongest evidence, but the knife from Raffaele's apartment is controversial. Experts later say the DNA trace is too small to be reliable. Still, the prosecution paints Amanda as a manipulative Foxy Noxy, a nickname from her childhood that the media runs with. The story feels like it's slipping into fiction. When does a theory stop explaining and start accusing? The case explodes globally. British and Italian tabloids call Amanda a seductress, a cold-blooded killer. Her MySpace page, her quirky personality, are dissected. Raffaele is portrayed as her naive accomplice. Guede, less covered, fades into the background. In Perugia, locals are divided. Some see Amanda as guilty, others as a scapegoat. On Reddit's r/unsolved mysteries, a post sums it up. The media made Amanda the villain before the trial even started. The frenzy drowns out the facts, and Meredith's memory gets lost. The louder the noise, the harder it is to hear the truth. The trial begins in January 2009. Amanda and Raffaele face charges of murder, sexual assault, and staging a burglary. Guede opts for a fast-track trial and is convicted in 2008. Sentenced to 30 years, later reduced to 16. Amanda and Raffaele's trial is a spectacle. Prosecutors lean on the knife and Amanda's inconsistent statements. The defense argues the DNA is flawed and the burglary wasn't staged. Amanda testifies, emotional but unsteady, saying she was coerced into implicating Patrick. In December 2009, both are convicted. Amanda gets 26 years, Raffaele 25. But doubts linger. What happens when justice feels like a performance? In 2010, Amanda and Raphael appeal. New experts review the DNA evidence. The knife's trace is deemed unreliable, too small, possibly contaminated. The crime scene handling is criticized. Perugia's small forensic team wasn't equipped for such a high-profile case. Witnesses contradict the prosecution's timeline. In October 2011, the appeals court overturns the convictions. Amanda and Raphael are freed. Amanda flies back to Seattle, greeted by supporters. But Meredith's family is left with no answers. The victory feels hollow. Freedom for some, but closure for none. Rudy Guede remains the only person convicted. His story shifts. He says he was at the house, but didn't kill Meredith. His DNA, though, is undeniable. On her clothes, her body, the walls. He's released in 2021 after serving most of his sentence, still claiming innocence. On r/truecrime, users speculate, was Guede the lone killer, or did others help? His past, break-ins, a knife found in his possession, paints a troubling picture. But his story leaves gaps. Why was Meredith targeted? And why no clear motive? The evidence points one way, but the questions point another. This case haunts because it's unresolved. In 2015, Italy's highest court acquits Amanda and Raffaele definitively, citing flawed evidence. But Meredith's family believes justice wasn't served. Theories swirl. A random burglary? A personal grudge? Or something orchestrated? The psychological toll is heavy on Meredith's family, on Amanda, vilified for years, on Raffaele, who lost his youth. On X, a user posts, "This case shows how truth gets buried under drama." What if the real story is simpler or darker than we think? Some wounds don't heal, they just scar over. Meredith Kercher's murder is a tragedy wrapped in a mystery. A young woman's life was stolen, and the search for truth got lost in noise. Media, trials, speculation. Who killed her? Why? Those questions linger, heavy as the Perugia fog. If this case has you thinking, share your theory in the comments. Subscribe for more stories that won't let go. It was Christmas Eve, 2002, in a quiet neighborhood in Modesto, California. A young woman, 8 months pregnant, steps out to walk her dog. She never comes back. Her name was Laci Peterson, and what happened next turned a family's holiday into a nightmare that still haunts us. What if the person closest to you held the darkest secret? Let's walk through this, step by step, and see where the shadows lead. Picture this. It's a crisp December morning. Laci Peterson wakes up in her cozy home on Covena Avenue. She's 27, full of life, excited about her baby boy on the way. They were going to name him Connor. Her husband, Scott, says he left around 9:30 to go fishing at the Berkeley Marina, about 90 miles away. He claims Laci was planning to mop the floor and walk their golden retriever, Mackenzie. But here's the thing. Neighbors see Mackenzie later that day, wandering alone with his leash on. Scott gets home around 4:30 p.m., finds the dog, but no Laci. He calls her mom, Sharon Rocha, around 5:15. Laci's missing, he says. Sharon tells him to check with friends. By 5:48, the police are involved. That night, friends and family search the nearby park where Laci liked to walk. Nothing. No sign of her. Scott seems calm, almost detached. He mentions he went fishing instead of golfing, like he first told some people. Small details, but they stick out. What if Laci just stepped out and something pulled her away forever? It makes you wonder about the quiet moments that change everything. Christmas Day comes, but there's no joy. Police set up at the Peterson home. Scott talks to them, describes Laci's outfit. Black pants, white top, diamond earrings. He shows them his fishing receipt from the marina. But detectives notice things. The house is spotless. Scott's truck has a homemade boat anchor made from concrete. Why make your own? Volunteers flood in. Posters go up everywhere. Laci's face smiles from telephone poles, her belly round with promise. Her family pleads on TV, please bring her home. Scott joins searches, but people say he acts odd, not frantic enough. He sells Laci's car just days later, says it's practical. Amber Fry hears about the missing woman. She's been dating Scott since November. He told her his wife died earlier that year. Now she sees the news. Her heart drops. She calls the tip line. But here's the problem. As days turn to weeks, hope fades. What if the answers were right there, hiding in plain sight? January rolls in cold. On the 3rd, police get a bombshell from Amber Fry. She's got recordings. Scott called her on New Year's Eve from a vigil for Laci, pretending he was in Paris. I'm near the Eiffel Tower, he whispers. But he's in Modesto, candles flickering around him. Amber goes public on January 24th. Press conference. I met Scott Peterson November 20th, 2002. I was led to believe he was unmarried. The world explodes. Scott's the cheating husband. Motive? Escape marriage. Avoid fatherhood. Scott admits the affair but swears he didn't hurt Laci. It was wrong, he says. But lies pile up. He told Amber his wife was dead weeks before she vanished. Coincidence? Or plan? Psychologists later point out Scott's charm, his easy lies, like a mask slipping. What if trust is the first thing to die in a relationship gone wrong? April 13th, 2003. A dog walker finds a tiny body on the shore of San Francisco Bay. It's a baby boy, umbilical cord attached. DNA confirms Connor Peterson. The next day, a woman's torso washes up nearby, headless, limbless, but it's Laci. Autopsy says she died from undetermined causes, but Connor was full term, expelled after her death. The bay is just miles from where Scott fished that Christmas Eve. He says it's a frame job, but police see it different. They think he weighted her down with anchors, dumped her from his new boat. Grief hits Laci's family hard. Sharon Rocha breaks down. She was my best friend. Funerals follow, but no peace. What if the water held secrets it couldn't keep? April 18th. Scott's in San Diego, near a golf course. Hair dyed blonde, goatee, car packed with cash. Nearly $15,000. Camping gear, Viagra, his brother's ID. Looks like flight. Police pull him over. He's arrested for murder. Back in Modesto, searches turn up more. Scott bought a boat December 9th. Got a 2-day fishing license. Told people he was golfing that day. Concrete residue in his warehouse matches anchors. One missing. Charges? First degree for Laci. Second for Connor. Premeditated, they say. Special circumstances for multiple murders. Scott pleads not guilty. What if running looks guilty, even if you're scared? June 1st, 2004. Courtroom in Redwood City. Moved for fairness. Prosecutor Rick DiStasso lays it out. Scott wanted freedom. Affair, lies, boat trip, all point to him. No direct evidence, but mountains of circumstantial. Defense. Mark Garagos. Rush to judgment. Points to a burglary across the street December 26th. Maybe Laci saw it. Got taken. Witnesses claim they saw her walking the dog after Scott left, but timelines clash. Jury hears Amber testify, plays tapes, Scott laughing, flirting while his wife's missing. Chilling. What if words betray more than actions? This case gets under your skin, right? If you're hooked, leave a comment with your thoughts on the evidence so far. Weeks of testimony. Dog trackers say their hounds picked Laci's scent at the marina. Scott's boat had a hair matching Laci's. Mitochondrial DNA, not perfect, but close. Scott's behavior dissected. He smiled at Laci's vigil, sold her car, inquired about selling the house, called real estate agents while searches went on. Psych experts whisper about narcissism, charming outside, empty inside. Motive drilled home, Amber, freedom. Scott told friends marriage was a trap. What if desire turns deadly? Garagos calls witnesses. One says she saw Laci at the warehouse days before. Others claim sightings of her after Scott left. Burglary suspects, Stephen Todd and Donald Pierce. They admit the break-in, but say it was the 26th, not the 24th. Medina family, the victims, say nothing missing matched Laci, but defense pushes. Maybe they kidnapped her, held her, dumped her to frame Scott after hearing about his fishing. Jury visits the boat. Shaky on water, they say. Hard to dump a body. What if doubt creeps in, like fog over the bay? November. Distaso. He killed her to get out of his obligations. Points to lies, location, timing. No reasonable doubt. Garagos. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Like OJ, but here it's the timeline. Burglars, bad police work. Innocent man. Jury deliberates, fires one juror for researching, another for misconduct. Tense. What if justice hangs on a thread? November 12th, 2004. Guilty. First degree for Laci, second for Connor. Crowds cheer outside. Scott, stone-faced. Penalty phase. Laci's family testifies. Sharon. You took her from me. Death recommended, December 13th. Judge sentences, March 16th, 2005. San Quentin awaits. But questions linger. No weapon, no crime scene. What if the system got it wrong? Years pass. 2012 appeal denied. But 2020, death sentence overturned. Jury selection issues. Resentenced to life without parole, 2021. January 2024. LA Innocence Project steps in. New evidence? Duct tape on Laci's pants. Judge allows DNA test May 2024. Burglary links? Van fire nearby with possible blood. Scott speaks in 2024 docs. Still innocent. Burglars did it. Reddit threads buzz. He strangled her night before. Or, burglars held her alive. Theories swirl. What if truth evolves, but pain stays? Laci and Connor's law passes, 2004. Protects unborn victims. Sharon writes books, speaks out. Scott at Mule Creek Prison. Family visits, fights on. Media revisits. Netflix's American Murder, 2024. Peacock's Face to Face. Psychologically, it's a mirror. Scott's calm, grief or guilt. What if we see what we want? And that's the lingering chill. A life gone, a family shattered. What if some mysteries never fully resolve? Even now, in 2025, updates trickle. Habeas petition denied June. But discovery granted October 2024. Defense gets more files. Experts speculate. Strangulation? Drowning? No cause determined. Behavior analysts say Scott's lies show deception, not sorrow. From Reddit's r/true crime discussion, guilty theories point to ambush at home. Others defend. Burglary timeline fits if adjusted. What if the end isn't the end? This story leaves you reflecting, doesn't it? If it moved you, comment your take below. Subscribe for more, or check my video on the Idaho murders. Thanks for listening. Stay curious. Stay safe. Picture a luxury hotel in Oslo, 1995. A woman checks in, alone, under a fake name. 3 days later, she's found dead in her room, a bullet in her head, the gun in her hand. But the scene doesn't add up. No fingerprints on the weapon, no blood on her hands, and a life erased like it never existed. This is the story of the Oslo Plaza Woman, a case that feels like a spy thriller. but leaves us with nothing but questions. Who was she? And why did she have to die? June 3rd, 1995. A security guard at the Oslo Plaza Hotel responds to a gunshot report. Room 2805. Inside, a woman is slumped on the bed, a Browning pistol in her hand, a single bullet through her forehead. The room is locked from the inside. Suicide, they say. But here's the problem. The gun has no fingerprints. Her hands are clean of blood or residue, and her identity? Completely fabricated. This wasn't just a death. It was a mystery from the start. She checked in as Jennifer Fairgate, a Belgian woman, with a man named Lois Fairgate. But both names are fake. No ID, no passport. Just a vague address in Belgium that leads nowhere. Her clothing tags are cut out, like she wanted to be a ghost. The man she was with? Never found. Was he real or part of her cover? The more you look, the less you know. The Browning pistol is a puzzle. Its serial number is filed off, a sign of black market dealings. She held it awkwardly, not like someone familiar with guns. No gunshot residue on her hands, no blood spatter where you'd expect. And the room? Spotless, except for a single bullet hole. Was this staged to look like suicide? The thought of someone arranging her body chills me. She stayed 3 days, barely leaving the room. No luggage, no personal items, just a few clothes with removed tags. Staff said she seemed nervous, ordering room service, but eating little. She paid in cash, and the front desk noted odd behavior, like requesting a room with no neighbors. Was she hiding, or waiting for someone? The silence of that room feels heavy. Here's the thing. The timeline doesn't add up. A guard checked her room 15 minutes before the gunshot, and she answered the door alive. But witnesses heard the shot just minutes later. How did someone enter, kill her, and leave a locked room so fast? Or did she pull the trigger herself? Under pressure, we'll never know. Those minutes are the heart of this case. Oslo, in 1995, was a diplomatic hub. Some think she was a spy, maybe Mossad, maybe Russian. Her erased identity, the gun, the fake name, it fits the profile. A Reddit post on r/truecrime suggests she was an agent who knew too much, silenced in a hurry. No proof, but the idea of a trained operative meeting a grim end in a hotel room is hard to shake. Police called it suicide too quickly. They didn't test her hands for residue until days later, ruining the evidence. Her body was cremated before a full autopsy, destroying DNA chances. Her belongings were stored poorly, some lost. It's like someone wanted this case to fade. How do you botch a case this badly unless it's on purpose? A few saw her. A maid said she seemed tense, avoiding eye contact. A guest heard her speaking German on a phone call, with an accent, maybe Eastern European. The man, Lois, was seen briefly at check-in, then vanished. Were they working together, or was he her handler? These fleeting glimpses are all we have, and they're not enough. What was her state of mind? No personal items, no notes, no signs of a life outside that room. Was she trained to live this way? Detached? Invisible? Or was she trapped, forced into a role she couldn't escape. The psychology of someone so erased fascinates me. Did she choose this? Or was it chosen for her? In 2017, journalists pushed for answers. DNA tests were attempted, but cremation left little to work with. Isotope analysis suggested she was from Central Europe, born around 1970. Reddit sleuths keep digging, theorizing she was a courier or assassin. But no family, no friends, no one claimed her. How does someone vanish so completely? The locked room is the biggest puzzle. Double locked from the inside, no signs of forced entry. Yet the gun, the clean hands, the missing evidence, it screams staging. Could a trained killer have slipped out, leaving no trace? Or was this an impossible crime, designed to confuse? The room itself feels like a trap. This case haunts me because it's so deliberate. Someone wanted her gone, her story erased. Was she a spy, betrayed by her own? A victim of a secret deal? Or did she choose to end it, leaving no trace of who she was? The Oslo Plaza Woman takes her truth to the grave, and we're left wondering who she really was. Some cases stick with you, and this one's like a shadow in my mind. A woman, a hotel room, a gunshot, and no answers. Maybe one day we'll know who Jennifer was, or why she had to die. For now, it's a mystery that lingers. Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe if you want more, or watch another case on the channel. Who was the Oslo Plaza Woman? I'm still searching. Picture this, a quiet town in Ohio where everyone knows everyone. But in 1977, something changed. Letters started showing up. No name on them, just words that cut deep, words that knew too much. This is the story of the Circleville letters, a mystery that tore families apart and left questions that still hang in the air today. What if someone out there knows your secrets? What if they're watching? Let's go back to how it all began. It started simple. Mary Gillespie was a bus driver. She picked up kids every day, dropped them off safe. But one afternoon she checked her mail. There was a letter, postmarked from Columbus. No return address. The writing was blocky, all caps. It said she was having an affair with Gordon Massey. He was the school superintendent. The letter told her to stop, or else. I know where you live, it read. I've been observing your house and know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious. Mary stared at it. She told herself it was a mistake. She wasn't seeing Massey, not like that, but the words stuck. Who would write this? Why? She hid it at first, didn't want to worry anyone. But then another came, same style, same threats. It felt like eyes on her, always. In a small town like Circleville, secrets don't stay buried long. But this was different. It made her question trust. Who really knows you, and what are they willing to do with it? She kept driving her route, smiling at the kids, but inside, doubt grew. What if this person was close? A neighbor, a friend? The mind plays tricks when fear sets in. The letters didn't stop. They got worse. Now they went to her husband. Wrong. He opened one. It said Mary was cheating. Demand he make her admit it, tell the school board, or face trouble. You have had 2 weeks and done nothing, it warned. If not, I will broadcast it on CBs, posters, signs, and billboards until the truth comes out. Ron was angry. He loved Mary. They had kids, a life together. But the words planted seeds. Doubt. He confronted her. She swore it wasn't true. They talked, decided to fight back. They told Ron's sister, Karen, and her husband, Paul Freshour. Paul was Ron's brother-in-law. They trusted him. Paul's sister heard too, just those few. Together, they guessed who it might be. Mary thought of David Lingberry, another bus driver. He'd asked her out once. She said no. He seemed bitter. So they wrote fake letters, sent them to suspects, hoped to scare the real writer out. But nothing changed. The real letters kept coming, threatening Ron's life now. Your life is in danger, one said. It felt personal, like the writer enjoyed the pain. August 19, 1977. A hot day. Ron was home. The phone rang. He answered. His face changed. Anger boiled up. His kid saw it. He grabbed his gun, stormed out, said nothing, just drove off. They figured he knew who the writer was. Maybe the caller told him. Hours later, news came. Ron's car, wrapped around a tree. He was dead. Gun in the car, fired once, bullet gone. Sheriff Dwight Radcliffe investigated. Said Ron's blood alcohol was high, 1.5 times the limit. Ruled it an accident, drunk driving. But his family, they didn't buy it. Ron rarely drank. Not like that. And the gun? Why fire it? No answers. The letters had threatened him. Now he was gone. Coincidence? Or something darker? Grief hit hard. Mary lost her husband. Kids lost their dad. And the town whispered. Was it murder? The mind searches for meaning in loss, but sometimes there's just emptiness. The letters didn't end with Ron's death. They ramped up. Now they went to others in town. Accused the sheriff of hiding the truth. Said Mary and Massey killed Ron. Cover up, they claimed, over and over. People talked. Rumors flew. Circleville felt smaller, tighter. You looked at neighbors different. Who got a letter? What did it say? Trust broke. Mary tried to move on, but the words followed her, haunted her. Then, she admitted it. The affair with Massey? It happened, but after the letters started, not before. She said the stress pushed her there, comfort in chaos. But did it matter? The damage was done. Secrets destroy. From inside, they rot relationships, leave scars that never heal. Years passed. 1978, 1979. Letters slowed, but never stopped. Mary raised her kids alone, worked her route. Paul and Karen divorced. Messy split. Karen moved in with Mary for a bit, shared trailer on her property. The town tried to forget, but whispers lingered. What if the writer was still out there, watching? Small towns hold grudges. They remember. And sometimes pain festers, turns to something worse. Psychologically, it's heavy. Living with eyes on you. Paranoia sets in. You question every glance, every hello. By 1983, things changed. No more just letters, now signs, posted along Mary's bus route. Crude, threatening. One accused Massey of hurting her daughter, obscene words about a child. Mary saw one, February 7. Pulled over. Ripped it down. But something felt off. Twine led to a box. Inside, a gun. Loaded. Rid to fire if she pulled harder. Booby trap. Meant for her. She froze. Called the sheriff. Heart pounding. Who would do this? Attempt murder? The gun had a serial number. Filed down, but traceable. Led to Paul Freshour, her brother-in-law. He said it was stolen. Didn't report it. No proof, but suspicion grew. Why him? The mind connects dots, sometimes right, sometimes wrong, but fear doesn't care. Sheriff Radcliffe brought Paul in. Handwriting test. Made him copy the letters. Expert said it matched. Blocky style, unique G's like sixes. Paul denied it, said he was innocent, but no alibi for the trap day. Boss said he skipped work. October 1983. Trial started. Mary testified. Believed it was him. Karen too, his ex-wife. Said he suspected the affair first. Jury convicted. Attempted murder. Sentenced 7 to 25 years. Town sighed. Case closed? But was it? Justice feels good until doubt creeps back. This tale is twisting, right? If you're still with me, subscribe for more. Paul went to prison. Lima Correctional. Everyone thought letters would stop. They didn't. Hundreds more, same style, postmarked Columbus. Accused prosecutors. Spread more secrets. Paul even got one. Now when are you going to believe you aren't going to get out of there? It said. I told you 2 years ago. When we set him up, they stay set up. He was in solitary sometimes. No mail access. How? Accomplice? A wrong man. The system failed? Questions piled up. Trust in justice shook. Psychologically, imagine it. Locked up for something you didn't do. Words still flying. Powerless. It breaks a person. As the years went by, theories multiplied. Some believed Paul was guilty and had help on the outside. Others thought Karen Sue was behind it all, maybe even working with someone else. A few went further, suggesting there was never just one letter writer, but several, taking turns, blending their voices into one. That would explain the small changes in style that some locals swore they noticed. Who was it? Paul. Evidence says yes. Handwriting matches, per experts like Beverly East in 2022. She saw quirks, G's, numbers, misspellings. But letters in prison? Maybe Karen, his ex. Jealous? Or multiple writers? Reddit forums buzz. Some say Massey's son. Or a coworker obsessed with Mary. Or even Mary herself, staging it. One theory, 3 people. Massey's kid for affair stuff, coworker for obsession, Karen for revenge. Forums like r/unresolved mysteries debate. CBS expert matched the Paul, but others, Karen's boyfriend seen near trap, Yellow El Camino. Speculation runs wild. Truth hides in shadows. Paul died in 2012. Innocent, he said. Case unsolved officially. Police stick with Paul, but doubts remain. Small town, big secrets. It shows how words wound deeper than knives. They destroy trust, families, lives. What if it was a group or one twisted mind? We may never know, but it makes you think. In your town, who's watching? Decades later, the Circleville letters remain one of America's strangest unsolved mysteries. No fingerprints, no photographs, just ink on paper and a trail of wrecked lives. Handwriting experts still argue. Theories still bounce around forums and Reddit threads. Some swear Paul was innocent. Others say the evidence was clear all along. One Reddit user summed it up simply. If Paul was the writer, he had help. If he wasn't, the real author was right under everyone's nose. And that's the haunting part. The writer could have been anyone. A neighbor, a friend, even family. Someone you waved to on the street, smiling, while knowing they had the power to ruin you with a single letter. The words have faded, but the fear they created still lingers. That's the Circleville letters, a puzzle, unsolved. Leaves you wondering about people, their motives, their darkness. If this got to you, subscribe. Don't miss the next one. Comment below, what's your take? And check another case. It might make you lock your doors tonight.